Super Sonic loses his powers in Sonic 4, the movie. Just after Amy Rose saved him from an ambush of 57 Metal Sonics with nothing but her hammer, Sonic lay on the ground, weak and exhausted. He looked at her and asked, "Hey, who are you?" But Amy, tough and fearless, replied that this was no time for introductions. Before Sonic could recover, they were surrounded again, this time by 130 Metal Sonics. Charging their blaster cannons, they unleashed 130 concentrated Chaos Energy blasts in unison. The explosion devastated the entire forest of New York State Park, leaving behind a massive curtain of smoke. As it cleared, Amy saw one Metal Sonic gripping Sonic by the neck and slamming him into the ground. But the worst was yet to come. Sonic, crawling helplessly, began to lose his strength. His fur slowly shifted from blue to white, not because he had transformed into Hypersonic, but because he had lost all his powers, his speed, his energy, everything. Subscribe now, because this was the shocking twist. Sonic had been stripped of everything that made him the hero. Amy Rose kept fighting bravely against the swarm of Metal Sonics, and soon Knuckles and Tails arrived to join the battle. Even though they didn't know Amy yet, it was clear to them that she was defending their dying friend Sonic, and the situation looked grim. Sonic, lying weak on the ground, held onto his unbreakable will. He tried to summon Chaos Power, and for a brief moment his fur flickered back to its original blue, but only for half a second. Immediately, it faded to white again, proof that his Chaos Energy had been drained. Sonic realized the truth. He had lost his super speed, but the worst was yet to come. From among the 130 Metal Sonics, the original one descended. The Metal Sonic that had absorbed Sonic's power stepped forward and transferred all the stolen Chaos Energy into the original. With this overwhelming surge of energy, the ordinary Metal Sonic transformed instantly. He was no longer just a machine, he had evolved into Neo Metal Sonic. Now holding the full power of Sonic, Neo Metal Sonic declared himself the one and only true Sonic. He ordered all the Metal Sonics to finish off the weakened hero once and for all. Just as they closed in, Knuckles pushed Amy Rose toward Sonic, and she quickly opened a ring portal beneath him. In an instant, the entire Team Sonic was transported to Amy's secret base, a hidden laboratory. There, as Sonic lay unconscious, Amy finally introduced herself to Knuckles and Tails. She revealed her name was Amy Rose and explained that she had come from the future to correct the timeline. In the original history, at the very moment Neo Metal Sonic commanded his army to destroy Sonic, Sonic would have died. That single event would have triggered total chaos, and within 10 years, humanity would be completely wiped out. The only human left would be Dr. Eggman, ruling the Earth with his endless army of Metal Sonics. Amy explained that from her home planet, Mobius, she had been entrusted with this mission to restore life on Earth and prevent the destruction of the future. Sonic was placed inside a recovery capsule, where it was confirmed that 99.3% of his Chaos Energy had been drained. If that number had reached 99.9%, Sonic would no longer be alive. The absorption left him powerless, stripped of his speed and strength. Tails, analyzing the situation, suggested that perhaps the power of the Master Emerald could restore Sonic's abilities. Amy Rose supported the idea, and Knuckles immediately took action. He contacted Wade Whipple to make sure he was at home, guarding the Emerald, because now the fate of Sonic and the future of the world depended on it. But this was where the greatest problem began. Neo Metal Sonic, following the trail of Chaos Energy, discovered the location of the Master Emerald. He struck Wade unconscious and seized the Emerald for himself. With its limitless power surging through his body, Neo Metal Sonic was no longer just Neo Metal Sonic. He ascended into something far more terrifying. His form glowed with a violent aura, his circuits overloaded with pure chaos, and his voice echoed like thunder as he declared his rebirth. He had transformed into Super Neo Metal Sonic, a being of unstoppable destruction.
Hey you! Don't forget subscribe!
Please subscribe to our channel!
Subscribe now!
Sonic remained unconscious, his heartbeat growing weaker with every passing second. Meanwhile, Super Neo Metal Sonic unleashed chaos upon the city, testing his new abilities with terrifying precision. Buildings crumbled, streets split apart, and the sky itself seemed to tremble under his power. Once he had confirmed the full extent of his strength, He moved on to the third phase of his mission. The first phase, stealing Sonic's power, had been completed in minutes. The second, seizing the Master Emerald, was now accomplished. And with both goals achieved, he possessed all the energy needed for the final step, opening a space-time portal powerful enough to bring Dr. Robotnik Webera back to life. Without hesitation, the portal tore open, glowing with chaos energy, and from within emerged Dr. Eggman. The truth was revealed. Robotnik Webera had died during the explosion of the space colony Ark. But before his death, during the years when he seemed lost and forgotten, living like a shadow of himself, he had secretly been working on a hidden project. Metal Sonic was already in the final stage of its creation, and now, with his resurrection, the nightmare was about to begin again. With a single quill from Sonic that Robotnik had kept since their last battle, he began the creation of Metal Sonic. Using the quill as the core and source of power, the android was born with Sonic's DNA and chaos energy, granting him the same abilities but enhanced with advanced weaponry. The project was already 97% complete, and in just a few days, Metal Sonic would activate automatically. But during the final 3% of development, Dr. Webera was recruited by Team Sonic to fight against Shadow and his grandfather Gerald. Everything unfolded until the moment came when Ivo, Robotnik, and Shadow were seconds away from dying in the explosion of the Ark. 5 seconds before everything was destroyed, Dr. Webera opened a ring portal to connect directly to his laboratory, where his new weapon, Metal Sonic, was waiting. He tried to escape, but the chaos energy blast was faster than him. Tragically, Robotnik was consumed by the explosion and passed into another life, leaving his creation behind. But that was not the only thing that happened. The quill of Supersonic, which Eggman held in his hands just before the explosion, carried within it the immense power of the Master Emerald, because Sonic had been transformed into Supersonic at that moment. The quill did not disintegrate in the blast. Instead, it pierced through the ring portal and landed directly in front of the creation capsule, where the nearly active body of Metal Sonic was waiting. 10 days after Eggman's death, the final 3% of the process was completed, and Metal Sonic was born. Seeing the glowing quill before him, he took it and placed it into the core of his chest. Chaos erupted. The remnant energy inside the quill triggered visions. Metal Sonic saw everything Eggman had lived before his death. From that moment, Metal Sonic's purpose was clear, not only to avenge Eggman's death, but to gain the power to resurrect his master. Using the laboratory's technology, he created hundreds of copies of himself. Months later, the chaos began, and now we see Eggman from the past returning to life, transported before the Ark explosion consumed him. Neo Metal Sonic had used all his chaos energy to travel through time, leaving him too weak to close the portal. But it didn't matter, Dr. Robotnik Webera had returned, armed with his most powerful weapon, Super Neo Metal Sonic. Learning that Sonic had already been defeated, Eggman began his campaign to subjugate humanity. Knuckles, Tails, and Amy Rose had no choice but to fight back, but the battle was nearly a massacre. Knuckles and Tails lay unconscious on the ground, while Amy stood alone, facing the chaos with courage but without enough power to resist. Just when all hope seemed lost, salvation arrived. On the other side of the still open space-time portal where Eggman had emerged, the explosion of the Ark had already occurred, and Team Sonic was on Earth celebrating their victory. Though drained of strength, meanwhile on the moon, Shadow retrieved his inhibitor rings. Sensing the strange energy of the portal, he rushed to investigate. Crossing through, he saw Knuckles and Tails defeated, a new pink hedgehog standing her ground, and Eggman commanding the Earth with a Sonic-like android. Shadow immediately understood this was a time travel portal, and nothing about it looked good. Shadow focused all his chaos energy to locate Sonic, and he realized the truth: Sonic only had enough chaos energy left to stay alive for 5 more minutes. Racing to him, Shadow released a surge of his own chaos power, like an electric shock, restoring Sonic's vital energy. Not only did Sonic's heartbeat strengthen, but his fur regained its blue color, and his legendary speed returned. While Sonic had been trapped in a coma, he had heard everything happening on Earth but was powerless to act. Now, with Shadow's support, he rose again. Together, they moved toward Super Neo Metal Sonic. Approaching in silence, Shadow unleashed his Chaos Control technique, stripping the Master Emerald from their enemy. In that instant, Sonic and Shadow seized the Emerald's power, transforming into Super Sonic and Super Shadow, ready to fight side by side. At that moment, Amy Rose took a deep breath and said, "I knew you would come, Shadow," watching his mastery of time. She turned her gaze toward the future of Earth and saw the chaos slowly being undone. Indeed, after a brutal battle between Super Sonic and Super Shadow against Neo Metal Sonic, the two heroes emerged victorious. Neo Metal Sonic was destroyed, and with his fall, all existing Metal Sonic copies automatically shut down. Eggman was forced back through the same portal he had arrived from. Finally, Super Sonic and Super Shadow combined all the remaining super energy they had left to close the portal, sending Eggman back to the exact moment when the space colony ARK exploded. In doing so, they restored the sacred timeline, ensuring that the world was safe once again. Remember, this video is nothing more than a theory created by me, with a lot of love, and only for the purpose of entertaining you. If you want more videos like this, please ask me in the comments, and soon I'll be bringing them to you.